Welcome back to For the Culture.
For the Culture!
You can find that artist on all streaming platforms. Please go search their song and support them, guys. And now we come to the portion of the podcast where we ask our question of the day.
Yes.
And today's question, presented by Josh, it was along the lines of perception and how your friends perceive you / family members and people who are in your family. So Josh, can you just start us off with that question and really just get us thinking?
Yeah, so what really grinds my... No, I'm just kidding. The question is, how does people... Is it perceived or perceive you and with your friend group? And as an example, I was once told that somebody perceives him as gay because he's around me. And that's not true, because I can be the most straightest person ever. I talk about females. I admire females any other day. So the fact that he was perceived as gay from walking down the street with me was a little bit odd and weird to me. So.
Okay. Does anybody want to attack that on and what people have perceived you to be and how it made you feel?
I ain't never got that from my friends. Most of my friends, we have like encouragements and goals that we talk about and make sure what we stand on and what we believe in and how we see each other. Like, as for me, I'm the type of friend that I just keep going. No matter what the issue is, I keep going. You can talk about me all you want, but it ain't gonna stop me from doing what I gotta do.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. People don't get that much.
Well, the good thing about the question, it's not a negative or a positive. It's kind of just how people perceive you. And the best thing I would say is, what's a one strong takeaway that you kind of like that people perceive you?
Like one.
Or weird, like
yeah.
You've heard somebody be like, "What? You're this because of your friends," type stuff. Like, you are who your friends are.
Oh, like I be getting called fake and stuff, but in reality, I keep it real. I might, you might seem I'm fake, but ain't no fakeness over here. If I say something and I know I'm gonna do it for real.
Right. But why do you think they perceived you as fake? Is it because maybe they wanted the same type of attention you gave somebody else?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
You ain't gonna get that all the time. Like, I might have to be busy one day. I don't got time for, like, what you got going on? Like,
yeah, sometimes people think they like you owe them your attention, and
right.
And sometimes people, they like you, but they only like you when you respond in a way that they want, which is already kind of toxic. But
and I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off of that tip of what
you heard
said.
something you like, huh?
Because like I don't know, you could get either way with me. I could be a chatterbox, or I could be real quiet. So if we're amongst other human beings and a conversation is being took, and it just depends on my mood sometimes. I could just sit there and just be listening. I don't know if it's my facial expressions. I don't know if it's my gestures or my hands. I don't know what it is. But people tend to look at me like what's wrong with her? Like, it's like, she think she can't like talk to us or something, or she can't like partake in the conversation, or like people think like I'm mean or I'm mad or I'm upset about something because I'm just simply sitting there just being quiet and I'm just listening to the conversation that is being said, versus where if I'm like all amped up and energetic and I'm just talking, I'm just rambling, because I tend to do that sometimes. People will, I don't know, sometimes people just they tune it out, or they just look at me like I don't know, like it just depends. Like, it depends on my mood sometimes.
Right. Okay. Well, I want to encourage some people who are in the room who haven't spoke to just think a little bit and maybe just share a little bit. You don't have to share too much, but yeah, let's just hear about how people perceive you and how that makes you feel. Gio, if you want to go ahead, you can go ahead.
I got you. How people perceive me as angry, sad, you know, and stuff like that. And me personally, I'm not I mean, it may look like I'm mad all the time, or it may look like I'm sad, but really, I'm just happy. You know, I got a kind soul. I'm goofy, energetic. You know, and a lot of people don't see that, or they don't take the time to ask me. You know, yeah, and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, like that video you made while you.
Hey. Pauline, do you want to jump in on that? I'm curious to think what people's perception of you might be.
Yeah. Well, people generally have one of two very different perceptions of me. I've heard before that when people first meet me, they think I'm really intimidating. That happens to you too?
Yeah, like for me, people think I can be, like I have like a strong demeanor, like I'm very assertive in certain ways, and I'm just, I mean, to be honest, I am an assertive person because I like to get to the point and I like to figure out what we got going on here because we can fool around, but I like to just get to the point. Some people will take that as, oh, you're so serious, or you're a stickler or something. I'm passionate about certain things. You know, so I wouldn't say I'm intimidating. I'm just passionate.
Yeah, I feel that. I think, like, I'm a very direct communicator. Like, I try to say what I mean and not, like, skirt around it. And sometimes people, especially, like, here in Minnesota, especially, like, you know, white folks, Minnesota nice, like, they don't always like that. And they think I'm being, too direct or too forward. But I had a mentor one time ask me, Pauline, are you intimidating or are they just intimidated? Like, it's not really about you necessarily. It's just about something from their perception that they, you know, are internalizing. So sometimes people tell me I'm intimidating, and then other times people tell me that they think that I'm shy or like quiet. And I also don't think that's true. I like to observe and take in information and like speak when I think it's the right time. I don't like to talk if I don't have something actually to say. And so, yeah, I think it's interesting in the different settings where people perceive me those very different ways. I feel like oftentimes if I'm in a setting where other people kind of sit back and I'm doing a lot of communicating, then they think I'm intimidating. But if I'm in a setting where there's already a lot going on, then I tend to sit back a little, and then people maybe think I'm quiet. So it kind of depends on the environment.
I second with everything you just said. That is so me too.
Yeah, I heard that. Anybody else want to attack that on before I go ahead and share my little piece?
Go ahead and share your little piece, Des. Let's hear what you guys say.
She pretty much said everything. That was so me. I couldn't put it into
It's
words.
something I've shared on the podcast before, but it's kind of like the story of my life. My family's perception was my mom had 7 sons. So we got to see the hothead, we got to see the goofball, we got to see, you know what I mean? So in a house like that, after you show your character, I guess it's kind of hard to get out of that because everyone has already seen you grow up into that character. And for me, it was that I was always okay, which oddly enough, some people would be like, what's wrong with that? But it was at a point where, as far as I can remember from like the age of 10 and up, if I ever said I was depressed, no one took me serious. They're like, no, you're good. You're you. You know what I mean? I remember we had a family member die and you was the only one to stand up, even though you was a little kid, and say what everybody was thinking, you know what I mean? And make everybody come together. So from those moments early on that I took as like a leap of faith of trying to get my family together, that kind of showed my character. It's like, oh, he's always gonna be all right. Like, look at him now. So from years all the way into a teenager, I never had those sit down talks. I never had those personalized situations where you kind of need that figure, whether it's a mentor, whether it's a father figure, anything like that. Even with my mom, like, it was a difficult relationship because when I would try to come to her, it was like, but you're you. You know what I mean? Like, how are you coming to me and showing like a sign of weakness when you're like the strength of the family? Like, so it would never be taken serious. So I would have only myself to rely on in those situations. It actually raised me in a way where I kind of don't rely on anybody for any emotional support or anything like that. But then it also has its left turn, you know, when I'm down on myself and it's hard to get back up. there's also nobody who can help me up either, you know? And I think that we all kind of share that, but for me, it's kind of one of those things where it hurts for me because I know I'm gonna get up sooner or later, and it's kind of like looking in the mirror like dang, they was right, I'm always gonna be okay. So for me, it's kind of one of those irritating situations, but story of my life, I can deal with it.
I second that. It kind of scares me how much I can relate to that. I kind of built personas around me because honestly, the truth of the matter is I'm just a goofy person that just likes to come up with anything and everything on fly. And sometimes people catch the end wind of it or the beginning of it, and then they be like, huh, that's the type of person you are. You're like that. And it's like, sorry, you were so close, but you just kind of came in at the wrong time, or you just kind of met me at the highlight of what I was doing, and you didn't get the full story, the full aspect, the full details of who I am and what I bring. And it's kind of sad because it's like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and sometimes it's just meh. And it's like, okay, what can I do to show you? Some people are just stuck in that one way. And
I feel like, yeah, Josh and Des, you both are talking about like how dangerous it can be when people perceive you as one thing and then they think that's the only thing that you are. Like that maybe sometimes like you are okay and you are really strong and able to take care of yourself. And Josh, maybe sometimes I know you are funny and you are a goofball, but that's not the only thing about you. And so it's really important, I think, that when we're perceiving other people, we remember like whatever I'm seeing in this person, they also are a bunch of other things, and hope that other people also give us that grace that they won't judge our entire person by just the one interaction they had with us or the one moment that they saw.
Yeah, and I also want to say one thing. One thing I can say about me too is that, you know, my mother always used to say, you're, you know, a tough little soldier.
Yeah, I heard that before.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Me, like, back then when I was little, and me growing up now, like me, like, growing up now and stuff, and realizing that, like, you know, it is right. You know, I always been a tough little soldier. I'm still, you know, a tough soldier to this day. So that I can't relate on. You know, that's something about me too. That is also true. Because everything that I went through, now that I realize, like, you know, whatever comes at me, I'm ready. You know.
Right. And I love this topic so much because altogether. Oh, Nisi, you gonna say something? Yeah, you were. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like not recently, but someone told me, like, me having conversations with a lot of people is ruining my reputation. But I didn't necessarily look at it like that. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of learning other people, you know, perceptions in life, whether it's men or women. I just really enjoy conversations. A person can look on the other side of the room and like, she's a whore, or she's a hoe, or just because I'm speaking to another man, or I just got not speaking to you and I'm speaking to another woman, but all I am doing is gaining different perceptions on someone else's point of view of life. So I usually always get like, I'm ruining my reputation. You don't care about your reputation, but actually I'm growing in a sense of learning from other people. So I often get that kind of response.
Wow, I like that because if you think about it, I'm pretty sure the person that said that to you, they didn't feel that way when you were talking to them. And you kind of notice how when you do give people that attention you might give to others or that energy you might give off, when it's directed towards somebody else, they seem to kind of take it as a negative. It's like they only like your light when it's shining on them, but then when it's shining on other people, then all of a sudden it's not the same light, you know? So the reason why I like this conversation the most is because I want everyone to acknowledge how people may perceive them, and then I want you to also acknowledge how you might perceive others and how you might already figured in your mind that you got them figured out, you know? And to be able to give them that grace to be like, hey, they are different, you know? Because I want people to give me that second chance. And the fact that anybody even said that to you, it just sounds like someone's a little bit jealous that you're giving the same attention that they used to get to somebody else, which is kind of typical. But
you got to be careful at times too, because you right on the nose with it. As soon as you perceive other people as well as you perceive yourself, it begins to be you begin to look at people through a double-edged mirror, and it's like they're sitting on the outside, like they're sitting on the other side, and they're showing you what's on the base, but then you're able to look through that and be like, well, I know you, I see you, like I see that the person that's hiding behind that, and you can't fool me. Or go ahead, put up the front, go ahead and do that, but behind closed doors, this is what it's gonna be. This is the truth of the matter. Is I'm always gonna know you, and I'm always gonna be able to pull that trump card and be like, you're okay. You're a human being at the end of the day. You're not anything that anybody else says or anything like that. This is what I've learned about you. And it's kind of what you were saying. You just gotta just not care about like how people look at you for talking to somebody else, because you got to know that person. You got to hear their story, and it could be dangerous at times, and it could be inspirational. So I commend you for doing that. And don't let nobody else sit here and tell you anything otherwise, because
one thing I could say about that situation is, what if you were somebody who went completely insane and you had no control over your emotions, how you felt, anything, and each day you talk to somebody, and every day that you talk to somebody you start to find yourself again by talking to these people, because believe it or not, we are all connected. Everybody on earth, we're all connected one way or another. So imagine every day you have a different conversation and you start to find yourself. You go from being completely insane to finding yourself the more people you talk to. But the perception of everyone else is, hey, this guy's crazy. So now, before you even get a chance to be yourself, someone's already talking to you like, hey, he's crazy. He's already, everything he's saying is already edging towards craziness. So now you can see how we've already done that to each other 1,000,000 times over 1,000,000 years. And now we're just sitting right here at a moment where if we can be this real and this deep with one another every day, the type of people we would be able to get. So this is why the conversation is so real, because it's like you don't walk up to somebody and just have this real level conversation, you know? Sometimes it takes time, and sometimes it's not the right place. But overall, things like this is something that we can learn from and actually use in real life. These conversations are too important. So
they are, but like think about what he said, like being a tough soldier. That's what my pops told me. I was a tough little soldier. Like the day before he passed, he was like, if I do pass, just know you're gonna be a tough little soldier and just be there for your little brother. And that's what I did. Even though I still got my uncle in my life, I'm still fighting through this stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm still going at the end of the day. So whatever I'm doing, I'm just gonna keep doing it. No matter what, I'm gonna keep striving for what I believe in, what I fight for, what I love in. And if it wasn't for my day ones, I probably would have been crashing out, you feel me, somewhere I didn't want to be. But sure, I just kept my composure. I kept my head straight. Now look at me. So I'm living good, and I'm still gonna keep going. Hopefully we gonna make something happen for us. We're gonna get through it.
Vaughn and Gio and Des, I feel like all three of you are talking about like how someone's perception of you can be both like a positive and a negative. Or like this idea of being the tough little soldier, like, you know, that had the impact, it sounds like, of you not being able to always get the help that you needed, which even if you are tough, you still deserve help when you need it and support. And so that makes me really sad to hear. And then also, Vaughn, I feel like I hear you talking about how you can also find strength in that perception where, like, you know, him seeing that toughness in you allows you to like still access it and remember that that's part of who you are and that you have that strength. And so I feel like those perceptions that other people have of us, you know, we can internalize them in ways that are really challenging or that also can bolster us and make us stronger.
Yeah, cause I ain't gonna lie, my dad passed away. When I was like 4. I ain't like me personally. Normally, like you would have a father that's gonna teach you how to be tough. You know, go fishing, football, or anything, anything really. But me not having that, and me being a tough soldier that I am, and learning and stuff.
Okay. Hey, I think we've, if anybody wants to add anything else before we get up out of here, free to. Okay, for sure. Guys, while you're at home, I really, really need you to maybe just grab a family member, grab a friend, and just ask them the same question, like, how do people perceive you, and how does it make you feel, you know? It's a question that really might get an answer out of you that you weren't expecting. So while you guys are at home, please go grab somebody and ask them our question of the day. You guys, I love having this conversation. I'll have it a million more times if you guys will come down to For the Culture. But we have reached our end. I want to thank everybody who came here to answer the question of the day. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
And we are not done yet. We are not done yet. I have to do the outro right after that. I know I said I was done, but I was done with the section. We got a whole show.
Because I was finna say, I'm TC in the building. Maybe sitting down.
And again, as soon as I say, For the Culture, everybody come in. For the Culture. Ladies, I can't. Yeah. All right. We want to thank you for tuning in. This has been a pleasure here at For the Culture.
For the Culture!
Brought to you by Kulture Klub Collaborative. Please follow us on IG. That is Kulture Klub with 2 Ks. While you're in our IG, please slide in our DMs and give us some feedback on the show. We would love to hear from you guys. Maybe a question of the day. Maybe some MN artists that you think deserve to be featured on the show. We would love to hear from you guys. Until next time, remember, we are for the youth, for the arts, for the culture!
Okay, wait.
Let's
okay.
get it!
Let's get it!
Whoa, you still
Wait, what do we say?
Okay.
What's
All right,
up, everybody?
we're rolling.
How y'all
Yeah.
doing? This
Shout
is,
out.
you know me. Shout out to the gang and over here.
Shout out to
Welcome
my
to
bro.
Tana Talks. You know,
already know what
TC
it
in
is.
the
Welcome to
building.
1017 Podcast. Tune into that.
We
That's
turn
my
up
new
every day,
podcast.
too.
For
If
the
you want to tune into that
culture.
this week, we got the Culture Club got the keys.
They're my seat.
Culture Club got the keys. I got my own podcast, 1017 Podcast. Tune into that. It's gonna be a lot of funny questions, a lot of show. Tune. It's gonna be a movie. Let the dress hang. Hey, what Sexy Red say? Shake your dress, shake your dress, shake your dress.
Wait. It ain't shaking. It ain't shaking.
Bust your head, bust your head. Yeah.
And that's that.
That's gonna fall off.